In what was a dominant performance, Derek Brunson scored his 5th straight win at UFC Vegas 36 just over a week ago. After winning 2 rounds on the ground with his superior wrestling, Brunson finally managed to catch Darren Till with a rear naked choke in the 3rd round for a massive submission win. And on social media, pro fighters and celebrities alike had much to say on the bout. Number 1, Ben Askren. Beautiful elbows from Brunson. Till has to get up or this is going to be a long night. Ben Askren is not one to shy away from having a different or potentially controversial opinion, and nothing became more evident with his reaction to Derek Brunson's dramatic UFC win. Askren was a former Bellator and 1 welterweight champion, remaining undefeated for over a decade before competing in the Ultimate Fighting Championship UFC. An accomplished grappler, he was the 2008 U.S. Olympic team member and national champion and a 2005 Pan American freestyle champion. He was also a 2-time Big 12 conference champion for the Missouri Tigers and was the 2nd wrestler to secure multiple Dan Hodge trophies, which is the wrestling equivalent to the Heisman Trophy. Additionally, he was a world champion in submission wrestling, and as you'll likely recall, he was part of the big boxing match against Jake Paul just this past year. After a back and forth on social media, Askren fought YouTube personality Jake Paul on April 17, 2021, eventually losing by TKO. However, the legitimacy of the match has come into question by fans and fellow MMA fighters since. The match reportedly generated at least 1.45 million pay-per-view buys as per Triller, although the legitimacy of the numbers has also been heavily questioned by many personalities. Next up is Francis Ngannou. Very intelligent win from Derek Brunson. UFC Vegas 36. The Predator is no dummy when it comes to the technicality that goes into mixed martial arts. The Cameroonian currently competes in the heavyweight division for the UFC, where he is the reigning UFC heavyweight champion. He's best known for having the hardest recorded punch in history and currently stands as the 5th ranked fighter in the UFC men's pound-for-pound rankings. And the scariest fighter on the planet was at his scariest in March 2021 when he knocked out Stipe Miocic in the 2nd round to win the UFC heavyweight title. He made it clear that he's adding a new level of grappling to his attack, and if he can keep his fight standing without worrying about being taken to the canvas, then who can truly go 25 minutes with this man? Francis Ngannou is without question one of the best and most respected fighters in the game, so to get recognized by somebody like this is a huge step for Derek Brunson, who's likely looking to make a title push after this latest feat. Also, Daniel Cormier. Derek Brunson was dominant. Great job, and he is in fantastic shape. Wasn't even breathing hard in the 3rd round. Cormier is a former UFC light heavyweight and heavyweight champion and widely regarded as one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time. He's also just the 2nd fighter in UFC history to hold titles in 2 separate weight classes simultaneously and is the 1st to defend titles in 2 divisions as well. As an international wrestler, Cormier was a 6-time U.S. World or Olympic team member, a World Bronze medalist, a Pan American Games gold medalist, and a 2-time Pan American champion. He has notable wins over Sol Palea, Jeff Monson, Antonio Silva, Josh Barnett, Frank Mir, and Roy Nelson, and of his 22 career wins, 17 of them included finishes with 10 TKOs. Cormier was also a 3-time Louisiana State champion wrestler in high school, and after his freshman year, he suffered just 2 losses for the rest of his high school career, both of which were due to injury. He finished his high school campaign with a 101-9 record and was an all-state selection in football as well. After high school, DC attended Colby Community College, where he was a 2-time national champion before joining on with the NCAA powerhouse Oklahoma State. Daniel Cormier is one of the most accomplished wrestlers and mixed martial artists in American sports history and has since enjoyed a tremendously successful media career. So to get some acknowledgement from the best in the game is certainly something to be proud of. Number 4, Darren Wynn. Not sure where Till trains, but I'm assuming it's a gym where he's the baddest dude there. Can beat everybody at everything. Not a great position to be in at this point in his career. Needs a big gym with world-class guys at every discipline. Darren Wynn is another mixed martial artist not scared to speak his mind and not unfamiliar with the art of wrestling. Wynn grew up competing in Missouri before attending St. Louis Community College, where he won the NJCAA championship and earned the NJCAA Outstanding Wrestler Award as a true freshman. In his sophomore year, he was awarded All-American status, and following his career at St. Louis Community College, he transferred to the Lindenwood University Wrestling Program, where he earned NAIA All-American honors by participating in the NAIA Wrestling Championships, earning 3rd overall. Following a successful collegiate wrestling career, he focused primarily on freestyle wrestling, where he competed nationally and internationally. After failing to make it to the 2016 Summer Olympics wrestling team, Wynn relocated to California in 2016 to continue training mixed martial arts. He officially began his professional career in 2017, fighting under various promotions, most notably Bellator MMA, amassing an undefeated record of 5-0 in the process. And on December 20th, 2018, Wynn officially signed with the UFC. Though he didn't make his official UFC debut until June 22, 2nd of 2019, where he ultimately won via unanimous decision and earned the fight of the night. Since then, Wynn has gone on to take on big-time fighters like Darren Till, who he lost to via split decision, and Gerald Meeschert, who he lost to via submission. Plus, he's gearing up for a big 2021. Wynn's point towards Till isn't entirely unwarranted either, as his wrestling is one area that certainly needs some work. And then there was Marvin Vettori. Till, for real, come by, we do some wrestling. The Italian mixed martial artist currently competes in the middleweight division of the UFC, is a former Venator FC welterweight champion, and he is currently ranked 5th in the UFC middleweight rankings. Even though the Italian dream fell short in his second bout against Adesanya, time and circumstance are on his side as he searches for another path to the title. On his 5-fight winning streak, Vettori's only top 10 foe was Jack Hermanson, which means that he has a bevy of matchups for him at the top of the division. Vettori's work ethic and determination are perhaps his best traits, and his ever-improving skill set makes him a grueling challenge for anyone who comes next. Again, Whitaker's run back to title shot worthiness against Adesanya is the blueprint, albeit a difficult one, on which to embark, but thus far, Vettori has shown every sign that he's a serious contender. So, he's more than within his right to criticize Till for his recent poor display on the mat. And finally, who's the king of the middleweight division anyway? Derek Brunson's win was undoubtedly impressive, and fighters like Marvin Vettori, Paulo Costa, and Robert Whitaker pose serious threats to overtake the throne. But Israel Adesanya remains the king of the middleweight division for the time being. Stylebender is the current UFC middleweight champion and is a former Glory middleweight champion in kickboxing. He also currently sits 3rd in the UFC men's pound-for-pound rankings and is widely regarded as one of the best strikers in mixed martial arts. Derek Brunson's recent UFC win could help him solidify further big-time opponents like Adesanya, but he still has a ways to go before he can compete with the Stylebender. At 34 years old, Brunson has lost twice in a row by first-round knockouts to Ronaldo, Jacare Souza, and Adesanya, and for a fighter who has previously relied so much on his athleticism, his time may be wearing thin. With that being said, even though many wondered if he was washed up, now at 37 he has won 5 fights in a row, and so one shouldn't underestimate the magnitude of his accomplishments. Not only was Brunson an underdog in all 5 of those victories, but he defeated several fighters that many believed would be his kryptonite, a lot of which has to do with his change in fighting style. Up until a few years ago, Brunson was an absolute berserker, blitzing forward like a man possessed, firing off huge left hands, and if that failed, clinching and wrestling like an animal. Now he has the exact opposite mindset. He's a calm martial artist, patiently waiting for the right opening to either strike or grapple his opponent. Brunson's changed approach didn't yield immediate success, as he was restrained against Adesanya, not rushing in, and it failed. However, sticking with the approach helped Brunson develop good, smart decision-making. Brunson also developed a totally new skill that helped alter his game. It used to be that Brunson was great at getting takedowns, but his top control was lacking. He would allow opponents to hip escape and wall walk with impunity, controlling neither their hips nor wrists. And if he took the back, his base would be unstable, often allowing opponents to simply stand up. But over the course of the past couple of years, Brunson has gone from having limited top control to having some of the best control in the division. Brunson deserves his credit as a martial artist, and he's easily top 10 and potentially even top 5 in the UFC middleweight division. So, he could compete with Israel Adesanya sooner rather than later. And with that, it wraps up the video. Thanks for watching.